Hi everyone, welcome to another Makeup Meaningful. I'm Garden Girl Jen Gallacher, and this week, along with the other garden girls, I'm talking about how you can use the two-piece March mood board to create a layout. Now, if you've seen the mood board, it's full of chalkboard colors and pinks and greens, and it's really, really lovely. In fact, I've included it here. I'm going to be using this mood board to create a layout that follows the theme we're following this month, which is children. And I do have 3 children, and on this layout, I'm going to document about how I feel lucky to have them. So now I want to talk about how you can be inspired. You can be inspired by using the two-piece mood board. You can find a mood board on Pinterest. You can use someone else's layout from the two-piece gallery that uses a color scheme or a style or a technique that you like as inspiration. Be sure to credit them. But I want you to create a layout. If you have children, you can use the same theme and go play along with me. Or you can document about yourself because obviously you were a child once as well. So I'm going to show you the mood board next, and then we're going to get started with the layout that has been inspired by this beautiful mood board picked out by Christina. So the mood board that I just showed you incorporated chalkboard and pink and some greens, and we're going to use that as inspiration this week to create this week's layout. We're going to start with a title card or journaling card from My Mind's Eye from the Cut and Paste collection. And it is about 4 by 6 inches. And we're going to lightly place that down to make sure I get the measurements right. And then this is a sheet of black and white paper from a new line from Cartabella that is not yet in the store, but I will link you to other ones that are similar to this. I just had it on my desk and I thought it matched this collection perfectly. Basically, look for any pattern that has this black and white feel to it, whether it is a diagonal shape like this one or something else. It is up to you. Then here is a number piece of pattern paper. I have trimmed it. This is from Studio Calico. And just like on this back black sheet of pattern paper, I'm going to trim this off a little bit. And then we'll see how long I want it. And then we'll add it to the layout. And I'm using a dot runner adhesive. I'll slightly overlap these two. Then to the large die cut piece here that's already done. Now you could do this with stamping or with white ink, whatever you want. You can get the same effect by doing something similar. I'm going to add a 3x4 journaling card from a Snap collection from the album I made last year. And this happened to be sitting on my desk. And it is a saying, if you have teenagers, you've probably heard this a million times. The YOLO, you only live once. And I thought it would be fun to incorporate this on the layout about my kids. And then Lisa Dickinson made this beautiful printable. It is got kind of a watercolor effect and black, and I just printed it out on some white American Crafts cardstock, and I printed it on the smooth side of the cardstock. So do think about where you want to place it. And I'm going to scooch it down just a little bit. And then to the top of the card, I'm going to add a crepe paper arrow die cut. And then to the right side of it, I took one of the tabs from Lisa's printable and I cut it out. I just fussy cut it with my scissors. The entire printable prints out on one sheet, and then you can cut up and use what you need. Then to the YOLO, you only live once, I'm going to actually add some twine. So I'm just going to lift up those adhesive foam squares that I placed down originally and just wrap this around a few times. And then we'll tie it off just to give it some texture and decorate it up a little bit. And then to the top of this YOLO card, I'm going to add a enamel We Were Here flag pendant shape from Evalicious. Now, one thing that Evalicious also makes are these fun arrow circle paper clips, and they make a lot of different shapes and styles. But what I did is I took the pink printable that Lisa had, and I used a circle punch that was about the same size, and I simply punched out from that card she created. And then I take the paper clip, and I want most of the shape to show, and I just slide it on the top there. And I'll have 2 of these that use the printable. I did that because the pink was the exact pink that I wanted to use on my layout. And then to that back piece of cardstock, I'll just add a glue dot so that it stays in place. So I allowed the shape of the paper clip to dictate a shape that I could punch with a circle punch. So look for ways that you can creatively layer items. To this bottom section, I'm going to take one of the flare buttons that is exclusive to the two-piece store. They have a lot of new ones, including several for the new theme this month. So I will link you to several of those as well. And you want to make sure you get enough adhesive on it that it sticks to your page. And then next to the flare badge, I'm going to add some pink buttons tied with twine. You could also use enamel dots or something in the similar color that you want to use. I'm just using glue dots to hold them down. So I want to show you something fun that you can do with any plain chipboard pieces. And these are Maya Road Polaroid frames. They come in 3 different sizes. I'm going to use 2 of them. And then I have some Heidi Swapp Color Shine. If you love the gold lame, then you'll definitely want to get the tinsel. It comes out as a metallic silver, but I'm going to show you a slightly different technique that you can use it for today. And to do that, you're going to need the tinsel or any color shine or spray mist that you want, and I'm actually just going to use a Q-tip, and I'll show you what we do. So I have a protective mat on which I do little projects like this, and I'm going to, actually I'll take the smaller frame, and I'm going to paint the frame. Now to do that, I just take the entire lid off the spray mist. Now doing this technique will not bring in the silver mist that you would normally get. I'm going to get a deep gray mist. So I get plenty on the actual cotton part of the Q-tip, and then I'm just painting it onto the chipboard frame. And you can do this with any color mist that you have. It's a nice non-messy technique and another way to use up those spray mists that you have on hand. And Q-tips are inexpensive, and so when you're done with it, you can just get rid of it. Now something that would be really fun on this is to do an ombre wash. And because it's a nice wet wash on these cotton tips, you could go as dark as you want it. Now if you like the look of this silver, a metallic silver, you would definitely want to spray this finish on. And it'll get a little bit of a silver shine, but not quite as metallic as if you just spray the materials on. So here's one that I've done that's dried a little bit, and you can see that it does go a little bit grayer, light gray. And here's what it looks plain. And I'm going to use both on this layout. This is a fun technique that you can try. I'm going to allow it to dry and come back and start assembling the rest of the layout. All right, now that they've started to dry a little bit, I can start thinking about where I want each piece to go. I am going to attach a photo. Again, this theme this month is our children. So I have pictures of all 3 of my kids on this layout. I'm going to slightly overlap the photo first, and then using glue dots, I will adhere it to the actual page. We'll just overlap that so the entire photo fits inside the frame. And then again, I have another photo. This one is of my youngest son. And this one will go in the metallic silver frame. And I'm just eyeballing it right now. Place that there. Again, using some glue dots to hold it in place. I will attach it to the top of that photo. This ensures me that I get the exact placement I want. And then I want to overlap the final and last photo. And I'm going to do that with the smallest frame that we just painted. Again, photo can go on top. You can actually place the photo first if you prefer that. Other ways that you can decorate these chipboard frames is you can emboss them. You can paint them with actual paint. It's up to you. Lots of different ways to alter them. The nice thing I like about chipboard elements like this is that I can use them however I want just by altering the color. You can even Mod Podge pattern paper on the top. So I am going to add 1 foam dot down at the bottom because, again, I'm going to slightly overlap the frames. So I've created kind of this cluster of frames. To the right of the small photo, I'm going to add this pennant die cut that says Cute Boy and let it stick out just a little bit. Then to bring in a little bit more pop of pink, I have a border punch. Any border will do. You can use your Silhouette die cut machine to cut these. There are border die cut shapes in the store. And we'll just adhere this to the girl photo of my daughter. You can see that brings in just a little bit more of the pink to the layout. I can use pink on this layout even though it has boys on it because it is how I feel lucky and how I love the kids. Now for the title, I have some additional chipboard pieces, and these are from Meyer Road. Again, you'll start putting them down. You could paint some of these or all of these with the mist or spray them as you want. I'm going to leave some of them plain or all of them plain. Now there are a couple of different ways that you can adhere chipboard letters. You can use a Xyron runner and run them through and get them sticky on the back, make them like a sticker. You can use dot runner if it's strong enough, double-sided sticky tape. You can use glue dot, something that I often use. You can tape them down with a nice washi tape that matches your project, but it's up to you. I'm going to go ahead and adhere them with some glue dots and then show you what it looks like. So I've just stuck them down. If you find, for instance, that the L isn't showing up as much as you want, you could do white, you could do red, the pink, whatever you want to make it stand out. I'm going to add a chipboard heart from Studio Calico right to the center of the U and the C, so that it stands out a little bit. And then I'm going to add some journaling just with a black journaling pen. And I can tell why I feel lucky to have the kids that I have by journaling somewhere significantly on the page. Make sure that it's meaningful and has meaning to you. So you can see I've just written with pen down the right side of the page, and I just freehanded it. And then I have a cut that I'm going to use. It's kind of a label type cut that I'm just going to place behind that YOLO just to marry the shapes all together. So there you have a layout that was completely inspired by the mood board for 2-piece this year. Be sure to follow the YouTube channel for 2-piece so you don't miss out on this Friday web series.